Hello everyone, welcome to Tactica Imperialis and to today's video. Today is going to be a probably not too brief channel update because, as I'm sure you're aware, my upload schedule has gone in the bin. It has been absolutely rubbish. The last time I uploaded anything that wasn't Adeptus Podcastus was 3 weeks ago. The last time I uploaded 40k stories, 4 weeks ago. It's absolutely rubbish. My upload schedule is gone in the bin. And I'm aware of that, and I want to talk about that. I want to explain why that's happened, and I want to talk about where we're going. I usually do year in review videos. This isn't that. I'm actually going to do a proper year in review video anyway, so don't worry, that's coming. You can look forward to that if you like. But I need to talk about where we are, because I know I've mentioned it before, in passing or in like the year in review videos, but this year has been very, very busy, this back end of the year in particular, and that's not likely to change. So I need to talk about that in relation to the upload schedule. Right, so first off, if you didn't already know, I'm training to be a teacher. I'm doing a PGCE, that's what we call them over in the UK, teacher training. I'm about 3 months in now. I've been at school, I won't tell you where, and I've been really loving it. I've really enjoyed my time teaching. The kids have been really great students and the staff have been awesome. I just have this thing where I love to teach, to get up in front of people and talk about science and share that passion I have for science. Genuinely, I can't explain it. It's ridiculous. It's amazing. I love doing it and I never want to stop. But it is a very intensive career. In many ways, it's not a career, it's a vocation. That's what people say about teaching, because it's not, historically, the best paid career. It's something you do because you love it. It's not something because you do for the money. So I'm doing it because I love it, and I do, and I wouldn't trade that out. I'm going to see through my teacher training and hopefully be employed as a full-time science teacher or a physics teacher going forward. But that is an intensive job, and the PGCE training year is, whilst maybe not the most intensive year of all time, is widely regarded as a very, very, very full-on, hectic, difficult, and intensive time. And I'm not saying this to make excuses, I'm saying this to explain. Because I'm currently teaching on half a timetable. I'm teaching 11 hours a week at the moment. This week that I'm about to teach, I am teaching a full 11 hours. And whilst that's, you might say, oh, that's half a timetable. Surely you've got loads of time for that. No. When you're learning to do this stuff, it takes ages. Lessons take me probably 2 hours to plan. Maybe less if I know exactly what I want to do for that lesson. But if I'm sort of thinking, okay, what's the topic? How do I teach it? I probably need about 2 hours to put a lesson plan together. And then I need to build resources like PowerPoint slides, handouts, worksheets, and so on and so forth. That all takes time. Probably I'm putting in 2.5 to 3 hours per lesson that I teach, and then teaching it for another hour. So if you like, I'm working about 44 hours, 33 to 44 hours a week right now. So you might say, okay, that's just a standard, 7 to 9 hour work day? Well, yes, but then add in the fact that the other 14 hours of the school week, I'm still at school. And whilst I can do a little bit of work in that time, probably between lesson observations and meetings and other affairs, I'm losing probably another 5 to 7 hours just dealing with admin and other activities and everything else that goes with the profession. So, okay, suddenly we're over a 50-hour work week. Okay, fine. It's just time-consuming. And whilst I wouldn't trade it for anything, it has affected the channel. As I'm sure you've noticed, my upload schedule has gone in the bin. So, let's talk about where we are in terms of me personally. Not talk about academia now, let's just talk about me and my place with terms of this channel. I don't want to give this channel up. I hope that's something that I've made obvious through my sort of tone and style on Adeptus Podcastus, but I am not in a position to give this channel up, or this hobby up, not even close. I have had phases where I've been burnt out on the channel, and I famously said that hobby burnout was what got this channel going. But I'm not in that position right now. My only problem is I am too busy and or too bad at time management to deal with getting a decent upload schedule. And whilst I'm hopeful that I can get better at it in terms of refining my skill at lesson planning to speed that process up, to my ability to overcome my urges to procrastinate on a almost minutely basis, I know that that's not going to change. I'm still going to be really, really busy, and even if I get my time managed very efficiently, I'm still going to need to sleep and eat and do everything else, and that's going to take a lot of time up. So, now that we know we're not burnt out, I also want to make clear that this channel's not going anywhere. Even if my upload schedule stays in the bin, and I have a plan to address it, but even if it stays in the bin, rest assured I'm not going anywhere. I'm pretty sure at least once I've spelled out that this might have happened, that I was going to be so busy with my PGCE and the final year of my degree that I was going to need to take breaks. There were going to be gaps in uploads. It didn't help that I bust my arm, and that took me out for a few weeks in 2018. And then 2019, I got overrun by the end of my degree, which I don't blame myself. It was the 4th year of a master's degree. I was very, very busy, and I knew I was going to need to take a break, so I did. But I knew this PGC was coming, and I knew this might happen, and that doesn't mean I'm going anywhere. At the absolute bare minimum, I will always be on Adept Podcast this. I'm not quitting the podcast, I'm not quitting YouTube, I'm not quitting the channel, I'm not going anywhere. I just have to be realistic about how much I can afford to upload, which has been very consistent over the last 4 years in that I went from starting to upload daily, trying to upload daily or to other days when I started the channel, then I went to 3 uploads a week in first year, and then I've pretty much sat at 2 uploads a week ever since. With a bit of fluctuation here and there. 2 uploads a week has been very consistent, but that might have to change. So let's talk about what the plan is, because I don't plan to quit, I just plan to be smarter. So, I have another week and a bit left at my first placement school. I finished there just before the UK general election, which if you've remembered to register, make sure you vote. I'm not sure if this will be out before the postal vote deadline, but go and vote, or if you can't vote in person, go send a proxy. Get your vote done. Just do it, vote, that's important. I care, but also not going to espouse who you should vote for, so just go and vote. Anyway, I finished around the time of the UK general election. I'm then off from being a teacher until mid-January. I've got about 5 weeks where I can't lesson plan and I can't teach, because I'm not going to be in any school to do that, and I can't prepare for it because I'm not going to have gone to the school that I'm going to be training at next. And in that time, I plan to get as much content done as possible. It's actually quite fortuitous that I've got 3 40k story scripts finished, ready to go. They're written, they're proofread, and they're ready to be recorded. I just haven't had the time to sit down and record them. I can record all of those once I'm out of work. I can also get on with Tutorialis. I've got 2, 3, 4 ideas for Tutorialis videos bouncing around in my head, and there's one I'm absolutely dying to make, but I just haven't had the time because it's a really intensive video in terms of the planning and then the recording session, so it takes time and I just haven't had it. But I know exactly what I want to do, I've just got to sit down and do it, and when I'm off work, I'll be able to do that. I'll also be able to supplement with non-time related My Thoughts On videos that I can just publish whenever I've got a gap. And I'll also probably do a couple of My Thoughts On videos sort of to retroactively catch us up on all the news. So talking about the Black Library Weekender, for example, talking about the Warhammer 40,000 Open Day that happened at the weekend, and so on and so forth. I'll do a couple of retroactive My Thoughts On to catch myself up on the news, and then try and do the news as much as I can to at least keep content ticking over. I'm probably not going to load 40k stories straight away. There'll probably be a gap where I will not upload it over Christmas. I usually take a week at Christmas and New Year anyway to do my year in review and hopes for the next year, which in this case will be 2020. So I'm probably not going to start uploading 40k stories again until after Christmas, just to give myself as much of a buffer of lore videos as possible. I'm hoping for at least 6. I've got 3.5. I'm hoping for 6 by the time the new year comes around, and that's basically a full half term's worth of content that I can just upload. I'm also thinking I might make some decade in review videos, maybe like top 10s or sort of reflection videos. I'm more than happy to do that. If you've got any ideas, let me know in the comments. I think I'll have the time to make those, absolutely, and put those out around the turn of the year, turn of the decade. So, here's the plan. Once I finish at work in a week or so's time, there will be an episode of Adeptus Podcastus. That's obvious. There's always an episode of Adeptus Podcastus, and I'll put that out on my channel. I will then, at that weekend, probably do a My Thoughts on double bill to catch us up on all the news, with the Black Library Weekender and the 140,000 Open Day probably being the Saturday and the Monday uploads. I will then do a Tutorialis upload. I know what I'm doing, I just need to write it down and put pen to paper and then chalk to whiteboard. And then once I've done that, Tutorialis can come out. After that, it will probably just be a series of reflective videos because at that point we'll be pretty much around Christmas. So I'll probably do year in review for the channel, year in review for the hobby hopes for 2020, and probably a decade in review or maybe a couple of top 5s and top 10s scrambled in there as well. Let me know what you want me to do. Podcasts will of course carry on. Then we'll hit January and 40k stories will start up again. That will run on a weekly basis and just tick, 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 tick until I run out of videos, which hopefully will probably be about 6 to 8 weeks. I don't know when that will be because I don't know how much time I'm going to get to make lore videos, but I'm hoping to get 6 to 8 weeks of lore videos done before we run out of content. At that point, we're in March, pretty much. We're in February, we're in March, and things change again. But I'm hoping that, at the bare minimum, 40k stories will keep coming out, and I'll get my thoughts on out when I can, and Adeptus Podcasters will just keep ticking over. After that, I've got to finish my second placement, go back and do my third placement, which will be even more intensive, and then I'll be finished and I'll have the summer where I hope to do as much content as I flipping can. Battle reports, live streams, hopefully doing lore videos, some collaborative work, ideally work with some new people, or go back and work with some old people, whatever else. Make summer as proactive and busy as I can. And then once I've done that, we're in September, I'm in the world of work, I'm working as an NQT, but I'll be a little bit less under the pump because I'll have already done a lot more teaching, so I'll be a lot better prepared at planning lessons, I'll be a lot better prepared at teaching lessons, I'll be a lot better at improvising. So hopefully once I'm into my NQT year, I'll be able to be a little bit more consistent with getting Tutorialis out, getting stories out, and getting everything else done. So there you go. That is the update for the next 6 months or so, where I'm going to do what I can. I'm hoping to get a pile of lore videos piled up to restart the series in 2020. I'm also hoping to get a couple of Tutorialis episodes made, one to come out quite quickly, one to come out probably at the turn of the year. And I will do a couple of retroactive My Thoughts Ons. I've got 3, I've talked about 2. There's also Warhammer the Old World, which I need to bang on about at length, obviously. So plenty there for me to talk about. And then I've got all the reflective stuff for the year and the decade before we look forward into the new year and whatever the new year brings to us. So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What sort of content would you like to see? Would you like it to be a case of upload really quality lore videos or Tutorialis videos infrequently, so when you get time, just stitch together a lore video, stitch together a Tutorialis and put it out? Or would you rather I try and keep weekly uploads at least with things like my thoughts on news videos and the like, with 40k stories and Tutorialis sort of sprinkled in when I get the time? Or would you rather it just be a case of take a break, go on hiatus, and just build up and build and build and build and build and build and build and build, so that when finally the dust settles and I'm ready to go, and I'm sort of in the clear, I've got a huge backlog that I can just work through over the coming months. Let me know your thoughts for content ideas. Let me know your thoughts for upload schedules. I'm open to suggestions. I've got plans and I've told you about those plans, but I'm willing to adapt them if it would be better suited. And I'm also aware that there's that 30,000 subscriber number looming, and just over the horizon, I'm also aware that the most famous number in the Warhammer community is looming, though it will probably be a while before I get there, particularly if my upload schedule stays in the bin. Have we hit 30k? I don't think we have. I don't think we've hit 30k. My dead upload schedule probably has put paid to that. Yeah, it's actually slipped back down a bit. So, yeah, we'll see about that. But I know there's some sub-milestones coming up, and I'm always interested to see what you'd like me to do for those as well. So, let me know your thoughts. As always, I always just want to know what you have to say, because it can really be helpful just to have the comments as a sounding board, if nothing else. So there you go. That's been my channel update, and I will see you soon. There'll be a couple of my thoughts on coming soon. There'll be Tutorials coming soon. But you can now officially be informed 40k Stories is on hiatus until 2020. That's official. That's happening. I don't feel confident I can get it out before then, because it would just be upload one, massive gap, upload one, massive gap. I'd rather build up a backlog and unleash them in a nice running order. So, thank you very much for watching. This has been Tactica Imperialis, and I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.